Okay, so while we have a couple nights off here from live shows, we're going to go back to 1996, November 24th, Portland, Oregon. YouTube viewer user here asked if he requested and asked if he could buy the whiteboard from his very first show. And I said, well, of course you can. And here we go. Here we are. And for a first show, and it's impossible to go back and do these old shows and not make comparisons between then and now. Try to keep that at a minimum, but boom. So here we go, opening up the show with a Poor Heart and AC/DC Bag. And one thing, there was 10 songs in this show, 10 songs that clocked under 5 minutes. There was a lot of not a lot, but more type 1 jamming, obviously, than type 2. Very little to no type 2 jamming. But the type 1 jamming was to be found. But then, like I said, 10 songs that clocked under 5 minutes. I mean, you couldn't even get the word J out in the word jam in those kind of songs. I mean, some of them under 4 minutes, a couple under 3 minutes. But all right, enough of that. So the AC/DC Bag did get us going a little bit here. That was the strong, if we're getting going, one of the stronger jams of the night was AC/DC Bag. And it was about like something you would hear maybe nowadays early in the first set. All things reconsidered after that, followed by Bouncing Around the Room, and then we get a Reba here, and just the pace of Reba right off the bat. It was like, oh, okay, this is a different time, a different era of Reba. And again, just a nice smooth jam, kind of built for this band, the four guys just going in together. Like I've said many times, it wasn't all about just taking turns soloing like we get a little bit over here in YEM. And then Character Zero making a mid-set appearance, kind of like Possum, like I was saying. They mix these songs around, make a little small adjustment, it freshens things up and it's not so boring. And, maybe not a jam, but definitely a Trey jam. Trey jammed with himself during Character Zero, ripping it up on the guitar. We follow that up with Strange Design to Call Down. And then Taste, one of my favorite songs of the first set. And, this was probably Taste, the heyday for Taste, probably 95, 96, 97. If you're a big fan of Taste, go back, look around these kind of years. And then we got North Charleston Heston making an appearance on I Didn't Know with the Vacuum. And then Sample in a Jar. So we got Sample in a Jar, Strange Design, Bouncing, several songs. And they quickly get through this. Not a single note to be found of a jam and Sample of the Jar. And then Antelope ended, a furious rocker, much like it is now, ending the set there. So to me, Taste and Reba kind of stealing the show here. Antelope ending things strong, and AC/DC Bag getting them warmed up, breaking Mike Gordon certainly breaking a sweat. John Fishman had already. And then we get over here, a long, long intro into 2001. People knew what it was. You could feel the tension building. And then finally, when it breaks off, get a nice, funky dance party jam, opening up the second set with that. Sparkle certainly not going to slow you down jamming at all. And then David Bowie. You could see why. Just so many changes when the song was really on. The tempo just going all over the place. I guess I can see and understand why. If they're not playing 100 shows a year, not a ton of time to practice and rehearse, I can see why Bowie takes a seat. But back in 1996, very strong. And, it had the middle part, similar to a Reba jam. Not that similar sounding on this night, but, just a jam built for all of them. Then the crazy changes coming. Then we get a Day in the Life, a handful of covers throughout the night. Day in the Life right there. And then, as Zero, middle over here, Bowie right here early in the second set, Hey, it jammed. That was their way of jamming back then, I guess. And then YEM, kind of no matter the era, it's going to come. Trey doing his part. Again, the change is very smooth. The vocal jam at the end, even, while brief, added to it, almost made it seem like it was a part of it. Mike's part at the end, yeah, kind of sounded like Les Claypool a little bit. It almost sounded like an Oysterhead jam. Almost did a double take. Had to take a look. Am I really listening to Phish from 1996? Oysterhead not existing yet, but that is kind of what this jam sounded like. Then Loving Cup, kind of like we got in Zero. A lot of Trey screaming with the guitar. Susie Greenberg ending the set strong. And then we get down here, Ginseng Sullivan. Trey trying to pull a fast one. Apparently he had introduced it by the wrong, had credited the wrong person at a previous show. Credits Norman Blake here, says it's one of his favorite songs, but somehow he didn't even know who wrote it. And then Mike Gordon goes on to sing the song. So you get the Ginseng Cavern, boom, boom, encore. So after Susie, so pretty much YEM, it looked like. They were like, all right, you guys got it all. You got a little bit of everything. We're just going to wind down here, hit you with some shit here, and call it a night. And that's what you got. Trey, he was a lion, no matter what the era. Trey Lyon, one of my personal favorites, he said. Northern Charleston Heston, I like that. All right, guys. So it's a little weird trying to do this right in the middle of a tour. Not a live show. It's a great show, but it is a little strange. There's nothing like a live, fresh show. All right, guys. Boom. Vegan made. Thank you. And boom. I don't know why I took a bow. I should not have taken a bow. That was not my best effort.